On one hand, you have Hong Kong sort of handling the reopening and the coronavirus situation better than a lot of major cities around the world. On the other hand, the drags that come from the political instability and the travel restrictions are still likely to go on for some time yet.
Yeah, exactly. The case is exactly what you have said just now. One thing very unique about Hong Kong market is we are not only affected by COVID-19 since beginning of the year. Last year, the protest in Hong Kong has actually lasted for at least 6 months, the whole second half of 2019. So it already had a very big impact in our job market last year, in particular on retail, food and beverage sector. So even just last year, the hiring process had already enormously lengthened in 2019, and we had already seen companies that are a bit hesitant to set up offices in Hong Kong, or they would actually choose the headcount to be based in neighboring countries like Singapore last year. So what happened this year with COVID-19 is basically an extension of what happened last year, just that this year is cross industries. But as you have said, we have been managing the pandemic very well. We haven't really suffered from complete lockdown, and it has been more than a month. We have single-digit case only, if not 0 cases. So you can actually see a lot of economic activities in Hong Kong have already been resumed, like face-to-face meeting. So the sentiment has already got a lot better, and hopefully we will see the job market will rebound.
In which sectors do you see sustained weakness, though? Because it's been a long time, probably over a year, we've seen really for hotels and leisure and tourism, that's where the sort of, I guess, pressure point has been. The most badly impact is beverage, as well as said, like retail, luxury. There's no mainland Chinese tourists coming to Hong Kong anymore, food and beverages. But on the other hand, we have already seen hiring, in particular from, say, local Hong Kong companies or PLC companies. But if you look at MNC, say, for example, if their headquarters are in US or Europe, the headcount approval process still sit with headquarters. So they are very prudent, if not extremely slow in approving headcount. However, if you look at Hong Kong local companies, in particular like utilities companies, like some half government institutions, they are still quite active when it comes to hiring. Does that mean then that if businesses are being more cautious about hiring full-time employees, that perhaps contract roles are rising?
It is. So beginning of the year, we definitely see more contract hiring. Then it gradually changed to like payroll hiring, which means the hiring company, they are still hiring, but the headcount doesn't sit with themselves. So they don't have to go through the headcount approval process, but the headcount still with, say, recruitment firms like Robert Walters. So we have actually seen it changing from contract hiring to payroll hiring. And then in terms of the tenure of the contract, it may actually change from like 12 months to 6 months or 3 months. And unfortunately, because a lot of projects were on hold, we also see some non-critical roles, non-business critical roles, even the contract hiring was cut.
We have seen also some Chinese companies launching IPOs in Hong Kong. Is this having an impact on the labor market given the increased activity there?
The sentiment is really good. If you look at Hong Kong equities market, if you look at Hong Kong Hang Seng Index, it's still booming. We actually see it more like as a form of the PRC government showing support to back Hong Kong as one of the key financial sectors. So we have seen like, some very big PRC companies, after they have listed in US stock exchange, they are now also coming to Hong Kong for IPO. So what we see coming up, it could be like, some relevant role, like related legal role, CFO openings. There will be some related openings coming up in Hong Kong. And on top of that, actually, the border among China, Hong Kong, and Macau are gradually opening up as well. So we are hoping with the increasing economic activities, the job market will pick up. Yeah.
Right. I'm wondering what you've seen in terms of a diminishing of
talent, though, in Hong Kong? Because just anecdotally, there seems to be a lot more conversation about people wanting to leave Hong Kong because of the political instability and also the economic downturn.
What we have seen is there are definitely more people consult about relocating to another locations. That's like a very common subject these days in Hong Kong, and we have seen some immigration consultant. They are getting very busy, get a lot of inquiries. But have we really witnessed a lot of people has already started living in Hong Kong? Not yet. However, when you look at some MNC, when they have multiple locations globally, we do hear, like, people start asking, is there a chance, say, for example, we can have a secondment or relocate to Singapore office, etc. But do we see, like, is it a big number that we really see talents leaving Hong Kong now? Not yet.